Yemen, a country situated in the Arabic Peninsula, south of Saudi Arabia, is renowned for its beautiful architecture and being the only country in the region not rich in oil. Although 2000 years ago it was known as Arabia Felix, or Lucky Arabia, for its fertile soil, it now faces huge challenges in terms of water supply. The capital, Sanaa, one of the most ancient in the world, was founded without any access to rivers, lakes, or even the sea. For more than 2,500 years, the people from Sanaa have used underground and rainwater sources to maintain life, and now both are becoming increasingly scarce.
Here, the poor people are paying more than the rich people because rich people are getting water to their homes. But those people are buying from those tanks. And you don't know how it is. Is it safe or not for drinking? That's the problem.
In Yemen, rural areas lack basic services, including water. In urban areas, like in the capital Sanaa, only 50% of the population have access to water infrastructure. The remaining 50% rely on private tankers, which get water from the non-renewable aquifers situated below the town.
We now abstract from non-renewable groundwater almost 1.5 billion cubic meters each year. And in 20 years we will be 40 million people. You can imagine that the deficit will also increase with the increase of population. So it's just very difficult.
In Sanaa Basin, we are discharging 250 million cubic meter per year. And the recharge only 42 million cubic meter. See the gap between discharge and recharge. So every year, from 2 to 6 meters, the water level is going down. And not only in Sanaa Basin, in other basins also.
The Sanaa Basin does not just provide water for the city. At least 90% of the underground water is used for agriculture. The water level has dropped drastically since the 1970s. Farmers now have to continuously dig deeper and at a higher cost.
It's around 50 meters.
Okay. And is the level of the water falling down or is it constant?
المستوى حق الماء بينزل تحت ما نزل ولا؟ It goes down.
How much?
كم حوالي 300 متر بينزل عندنا 300 meters.
The farmers, with their limited resources, can only drill down to 600 meters to find water. The government is doing as much as possible to find new sources. The Natural Water Resource Authority, a governmental institution, now drills down to 2,000 meters with high cost but little result.
Even we drilled 2 experimental wells up to 2,000 meters. We brought an oil company rig, which is very strong and deep. This is the real cost of water. So it costs 4 million.
As the level of water goes down, its price increases for households, but particularly for farmers who are the main users of water. This means that farmers have to move to the most profitable crop so that they can afford the price increase. And even at today's high staple prices, the most profitable crop is khat, a plant with amphetamine-like stimulant that is chewed traditionally in Yemen and in the Horn of Africa.
So a lot of farmers starting moving into irrigated agriculture. And of course, irrigated agriculture is costly because farmers have to dig wells, they have to purchase pumps, they have to maintain the pumps, they have to purchase diesel, etc. So it comes with a cost.
Agriculture near Sanaa is becoming an increasingly expensive business. The fuel used by farmers to pump the underground water is becoming more expensive, along with the seeds and the fertilizers.
أيام الصيف.
In the winter, no problem with water, but in the spring, they have a problem. ولا اسمه الأبيار خفت.
الأبيار بتقل.
يعني خفت كيف ولا قليل؟
قليل.
This year, it's the raining is a little or a reduce.
So producing anything that does not cover the cost becomes not reasonable. So they started moving from those crops that are not profitable. So they moved into cash crops.
Dahir Valley, 50 kilometers from the capital Sanaa. Most of the staples for the city were grown here, but now the situation has changed. The farmers here are now growing cod.
This place in the past, you could say 30 or 35 years, used to be called the orchard of Sanaa, or used to be called the garden of Sanaa, because it was famous of different crops like pears and peaches, apricots, grapes. But with the spread of qat and the profits that people find in selling it, because it's part of the Yemeni culture, people now have shifted from growing crops into growing qat.
It's a very high crop. After it will be hashish only. You know, like in Afghanistan or Colombia or wherever. Yeah, it's a high cash crop. So the farmer can resist, can keep his profit even if they go deeper and deeper.
Sanaa, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, is also one of the longest surviving ancient capitals. But today, is it a sustainable city? Due to the high reward of growing cod, the water is often pumped from underground without any attempt to preserve the resources. In addition, the population of Sanaa has grown from 135,000 people in the 70s to more than 2 million today.
Sanaa natural and environmental resources cannot tolerate a population of more than 800,000 people. That's all.
Without cat.
Without cat, you are right. And we are now more than 2 million. And nobody knows after 5 years how much, maybe will be 3.5 million. I don't know how we are going to live in this city with that population.
So you could see the cost of pumping water from the coastal areas to Sanaa is huge, and people will not be able to really pay that cost or price of water. So desalination is only feasible for coastal areas, for domestic use, or maybe industrialized use of water, but not really for agriculture. No. And also not for domestic use in the highland cities like Sanaa.
The situation has reached such a gravity that the officials are now considering the option to move the capital as a last resort.
I read that moving the capital would be a solution, but
Near the sea. They have to find a city near the sea and to make it as a capital. For the future, they have to think about that. Otherwise, it will be a problem. Fact, I like Sanaa. It's fantastic. So they have to keep it good and beautiful. Otherwise, they will destroy Sanaa.
We will see a lot of resettlement of the population, maybe towards the coastal areas, because there at least there is a possibility for desalination for domestic use.
And then the infrastructure is in Aden. It was the capital also of South Yemen. And Mukalla also, it's good infrastructure there. You have there a port, you have airport, you have everything there. So you can move to Mukalla or to Aden.
You would see that life itself in Yemen is threatened by the scarcity of water. In ancient times, we know that people migrated out of Yemen because of lack of water, because of water scarcity. And I'm afraid in the future, the same thing will happen again.